everyone, so in case you didn't know, I'm a college student majoring in psychology. Here are a couple of things people have actually said to me because I'm a psychology major. Quote number 1. Psychologically speaking. Quote number 1 addressed. Psychologically speaking, you're annoying. I will address this quote more in detail later in this video. Quote number 2. Chan Hong, it's a good thing you're studying psychology so you can find out what's wrong with your dad and grandfather. Quote number 2 addressed. Even if I did understand why they do the things they do, you're not gonna listen to me anyways. I do know Gottman's 4 Horsemen of Relationship Apocalypse though, or I used to know though when I was studying for my abnormal psychology final exam. Quote number 3, Chihai's majoring in the easiest subject in the world. Quote number 3 address. Yes, it's true that psychology concepts are pretty easy to understand, but just like any other subject, some people just don't get it. Learning psychology is also easier than doing psychology. Psychology majors have it easy because of psych researchers who do all the dirty work of finding material for psych majors to learn. That's why the research method/statistics requirement for the major is everyone's least favorite class and sometimes most difficult class. Furthermore, applying these concepts is also kind of hard when you're studying from a variety of disciplines. Social and personality psychology are polar opposites. There's also a psychoanalytic theory versus humanistic theory and all these other theories. So yes, psychology is an easy major, but it's the hardest to master. Quote number 4. What are you going to do with your psychology major? Quote number 4 addressed. Honestly, nothing. I am majoring in psychology because I love learning it. Yes, there are people who will go on to grad school to become clinical psychologists and whatnot. And yes, there are people who will go on to work at GameStop and other odd jobs. But the myth that you will not get a job is absolutely not true. If you have a college degree, you will get a job. Whether or not you like that job is a different story. As my advisor tells me, stop worrying about your future so much. Your major does not define you. And it really doesn't. You just have to work harder post-grad than engineers and business majors, but it's not impossible to get your dream job without studying it in college. My dream job is to be a writer, and I originally wanted to be an English major, but I realized I hate analyzing literature. I just want to enjoy them as they are. I plan on using my psychology major as a positive rather than hindrance to reaching my goal. Quote number 5. You're a psychology major. Shouldn't you know this? Quote number 5 address. Going back to quote number 1, being a psychology major doesn't mean that I know everything there is to know about the human mind and that I can explain why humans do everything they do. In fact, even the best psychologists in the world can't do this. People often ask me this when it comes to philosophical topics. Philosophy led to psychology, but modern psychology is not the same thing as philosophy. Kind of like how all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. Modern psychology is different from philosophy because modern psychology is based on empirical or scientific methods, and that's why I'm mostly taught as a psychology major. Ultimately, I've learned a lot more than just empirical psychology. Being a psychology major has allowed me to understand the world a little better while still keeping an open mind. As a result, I highly suggest everyone take at least one psychology class in their lifetime, whether it's to understand your spouse better, to separate truth from fiction, or just to learn. It's not going to hurt you or your GPA, so they say.